During All-Star Weekend, Caitlin Clark joins Sue Bird and Megan Rapinoe for a live episode of A Touch More. And let's just say that Caitlin Clark does not hold back on dishing.
Caitlin Clark just made some very important tea on Megan Rapinoe and Sue Bird's podcast. Furthermore, the girl held nothing in return, from disclosing what Taylor Swift told her to roast in a whisper herself over that goofy face that went viral. The interview was fantastic. Clark became serious regarding all the factors that have been causing the internet crazy. Caitlin Clark's, what is your most thought-provoking viral moment? Put it in the comments section.
From just a few states over, she loves a good Cheez-It and will wash it down with some swig. She loves Scrabble, outdoor concerts at the Ruoff, and golfing at Crooked Stick. She's every ref's favorite, and she dresses like a CEO because she's a boss. Please welcome to the show, Caitlin Clark.
Now, let's talk about Caitlin. Clark, the woman is skilled at creating an even when she's not attempting to enter. She arrives at All-Star Weekend 2, a little more with Sue Bird and Megan Rapinoe podcast. These two legendary figures choose to troll her from the start. They presented her with the most spectacular imaginable music. The same things that the Chicago Bulls used to stroll out to, then mockingly declared her as the favorite of all the referees. Apparently, because there is nothing that says welcome to the show as scolding someone right away for their connection to the authorities. However, she rolled with it all the way, Clark. The atmosphere was excellent. Warm, hilarious, and completely unfiltered. These, in essence, the three were making fun of one another for a continuous hour. Additionally, we received several amazing behind-the-scenes tales that no one anticipated.
Taylor Swift is
Swift. Circumstance since, of course, that's what everyone was curious about it. Recall Swift whispering in that widely shared video during that Chiefs game, something to Clark a playoff match. The internet went down. Completely insane when attempting to determine what these two enormous stars might be talking about. Okay, Megan Rapinoe just said to her, no beating circumstantial. Clark's response was, it was virtually completely normal. Disappointing. As it happens, Clark was essentially being Swift's private commentator on football. She is elaborating why flags were tossed and why they broke down plays, simply being an absolute football fanatic, because it seems that Taylor Swift, in spite of dating one of the most well-known NFL players on the earth, still requires someone who can describe the action on the field. Additionally, Clark, the enormous chief, being a superfan, she was more than I'm glad to play teacher. The entire thing is simply incredible when you consider it. As if Clark had this instance in which she's beside one of the top pop stars, the world's stars. Simply discussing football is just another game with rules. Now it's Tuesday for her. That's the level she is currently in operation. Having typical discussions with Taylor Swift is but a portion of her life.
High school, they made you take like a 15-minute timeout if you got a yellow card.
That's ridiculous.
They're like, yeah, go to the bench for 15 minutes. I'm like, it's like a timeout, like you're 10. Like,
Was there orange slices there?
No, there's not. That sucks.
Yeah, it's 15 minutes.
Yeah,
timeout.
I had an innumerable amount of yellow cards. Only 2 red cards, both from my mouth.
I didn't get any red, but I got a lot of yellows. It was always my goal, but...
Honestly, you two might be our best ever never played for the national team players. We could have used you guys.
Yeah.
Center mid. Yeah.
You guys did fine with that.
Center
Forward.
forward. Center forward. Center forward.
Not
center
defense.
Mid. Yeah. No. All three of us, to be honest. We'll be up top.
No, I know. Whenever they introduce me sometimes, or they introduce somebody else, and it's like all defense, all that. I'm like, that'll never. That was never me. That'll never be part of the resume.
Smart.
None of us.
but not all defense.
Yeah. No. Okay. I don't know if you watch Saved by the Bell.
So good.
Might be my
Goofy
favorite
that you're
one.
talking about. This is Goofy that you're talking about. Goofy Caitlin.
I feel like every game there's always like a new meme of me doing something.
This one is top notch. I don't even know what happened.
I mean,
I do.
What game is this?
I have no idea.
Atlanta. Ryan Howard was trying to rough you up.
Oh, is that? I
this?
was like, I don't care. I
Yeah.
don't care.
You're like, I'm not scared of you.
Oh yeah, that's what I said.
I'm not scared of you.
Who are you?
Yeah,
I did say that.
Oh, it was so good. I remember I was watching this game live.
I thought I was tough, and then this is what I look like.
However, that wasn't even the highlight of the interview. When they hauled up that extremely iconic screenshot of Clark, following her brief altercation with Ryan, the Atlanta Dream's Howard. You are aware the one in which Clark looks at everything, uncontrolled, her hair disheveled, creating this silly look, which turned into an instant meme. The timing of the freeze frame was so flawless that she appeared to be experiencing a breakdown of some sort. Clark, she burnt herself over this moment, and it was lovely to observe. She's staring at this image while this is how I appeared. I believed I was acting tough. She acknowledged that she was believing that I'm not scared of you throughout the entire event, but the screenshot gave the impression that she was experiencing an existential crisis in its place. She was constantly giggling about her hair, all disheveled, and her entire face was simply sitting there and appearing absurd.
Honestly, the freeze frame doesn't do you justice.
Like that's not fair.
Yeah.
I didn't actually look like that, right?
No, you were not that goofy in real time.
This is so good.
In real time, you were like, let's fucking go. Like, I'm right here. My whole face is right here. Freeze frame, you're like, my whole face is right here. Tough.
My hair's all messed up. I just got hit.
Yeah, you hadn't fixed the pony
No,
yet.
I hadn't.
What was most enjoyable was when Sue and Megan told her that at the moment she actually appeared prepared and frightening. To combat, however, that freeze frame, that she was completely ruined by the freeze frame. Clark was giggling over it, completely acknowledging that each game appears to create a fresh meme depicting her actions. Something strange. At least she's self-conscious of turning into a walking meme factory.
Looks big. But yeah, I like that moment I had with Stewie when I made that one over her. Like, I don't know how I made that shot. Like, I barely got it over her fingertips. Like, Stewie's one of the longest players in the league.
Like 8 feet with her
Yeah.
arms. Yeah.
And I just started laughing, and then Stewie was laughing because we were both like, "Wait, what? How'd that go in?" And then
she's
Sandy's
like, "What the
laughing.
fuck?" You're like, "What
Sandy's
the fuck?"
laughing behind me. It was
Then they discussed that amazing over Brianna Stewart with a shot. This, to be honest, was among the season's most outrageous basketball moments. The fact that Clark was on a heater that game, and she arrived for this extremely over. Stewart, disputed three-pointer, who, with her arms, is around 8 feet tall. Prolonged, Clark somehow succeeded in getting the little bit across her fingertips. Margin that is feasible. What made the situation special? Their responses were much fantastic. Later, Clark burst out laughing as a result of her couldn't believe that the shot went through. Stewart was also giggling because both of them said, "Wait, how did that occur?" It was one of those flawless moments in basketball where even the Thea participants are in awe of what just happened. For three-pointers were made by Clark during that 45-second time frame, and the shot that passed over Stewart was most likely the most absurd. Behind Stewart, you could observe Sandy Browndello breaking as well up, since everyone in the building was aware of they had just seen something extraordinary. It's uncommon to witness such mutual admiration and gratitude for a fantastic play, including that of the other team. However, possibly the most amusing tale concerned that moment when Clark was sprawled out directly in front of Sue Bird on the floor in her first year. A Bird was seated when Clark was fouled on a courtside shot, but no landing was called by the referees. Breach of space. Startling, of course. The referees missed a call, which is shocking. Clark is involved. She eventually fell flat on the area of the ground right before Bird. Bird, it seems, simply froze.
I was like, what do I do?
So
I didn't know what to do. I was like, should I help her?
me up.
If I help her, people are gonna be like, why didn't you help her? If I don't help her, they'll be like, how come you didn't help her?
I was like,
and I'm frozen in time.
I remember what happened. This is my rookie year. Jordan Horston fouled me.
fouled you.
And they didn't call a landing space foul per usual. They never do. They just called a normal common foul.
Burn.
But yeah, I was like, I thought one of the Seattle fans would help me. Maybe even you, but
I know I'm not. I vividly remember I froze.
I even have green shoes on and no one still helped me.
I was like, oh my god.
I was like, I don't even see you down there. Tommy, though, again,
with
very concerned.
another Letterman.
Yeah, is very concerned.
Who has grown to be such a huge figure in the sport so rapidly. Bird has existed, eternity, but she was unaware of the appropriate procedure for when a celebrity lands in front of you on the floor. For the duration of the interview, Clark simply seemed so sincere and grounded. In spite of the pandemonium pertaining to her profession, she's coping under extraordinary scrutiny. Tremendous strain. Yet she manages to make her laugh and interact with these types of tales in such an organic manner. Speaking of scrutiny and pressure, there is some alarming information regarding Clark's present state of injury, which has been evolving. She has plantar fasciitis, appears to be more serious than first thought. Considering what Indiana Fever Stephanie White, the coach, has been repeating in recent appearances in the media. This isn't only a small problem that's going to be resolved in a short time. This might put Clark on the sidelines for a long time frame. The time couldn't be worse, particularly in light of all the rumors regarding foreign signings with roster changes taking place throughout the league. The Belgian Emma Miseman superstar recently made her decision public to commit to playing for the New York Liberty, and to be honest, this could have simply handed the title for them. Miseman possessed particular standards for the location she desired to engage in play. She desired a metropolis that felt similar to home, and for a European, New York is a logical choice. It's the America's most European-feeling city, using public transit, the walkability and overall atmosphere. When it seems that those conditions were released, it was rather clear that she was going to New York. Earlier, there was some misunderstanding. Steph Talbot was signed by the Liberty, whom the Golden Knights had just cut State Valkyries. People believed, indicating that Miseman would not be visiting New York after all. That perhaps she might either the Indiana or the Lynx a miracle would be performed by Fever. However, with Clark might be going on in long time, the Fever signing. Miseman was never logical. In any case, one of another requirement for Miseman was to join a team vying for a championship. With, if Clark as well, the Fever might have presented that reasoning. Alongside Clark addressing these injury concerns, that the discussion was at a standstill. Miss is among the most honored athletes in international basketball for women. She recently won the Eurobasket with Julie Van Loo and Julie Alamy, who both currently play for the Sparks. She offers superior three-point shooting, paired with appropriate size and the capacity to defend. That combo is extremely uncommon in basketball for ladies. The Liberty had previously been loaded. This signature, their backup players might start for the majority of the league's teams. And after Jonquil Jones returns from her injuries, they will be completely invincible. They rank top in tempo and second in offensive score and close to the top of ranking for defense. Even after they left through a few difficult moments during the in the midst of the season, it was primarily because important players were absent and managing a somewhat more demanding schedule compared to the beginning of the year. Including Miseman is simply unjust to this roster. The favorites were already Liberty, but it isn't even close now. The 2025 was effectively sealed up. Championship prior to the actual season begins. The breadth, the skill, the experience. No other league team can correspond with what they're assembling. In contrast to Clark's circumstances, rather bleak. Here is an individual who's transformed the sport, introduced unparalleled revenue and attention, too. She is coping with an issue in the WNBA, harm that could have a major influence. Her capacity for the most intense competition level. In the meanwhile, the Liberty are assembling talent as if they were NBA players, 2K with the salary cap disabled. It's frustrating due of Clark's influence on the league has grown significantly. She's brought in new sponsors, new fans, and new enthusiasm for basketball for women. Her games are television shows that are a must-watch. Highlights of her get viral right away. Additionally, she has produced real excitement surrounding the sport that didn't exist previously. However, wounds don't concern about plots or advertising value or influence on culture. If Clark's plantar fascism is as dangerous as it appears. To be, she must spend some time appropriately recover. Returning too quickly could turn a treatable injury into something that impacts every aspect of her profession. The astute Indiana's course of action would be to close her down for however long it takes, even if it implies giving up a few games in the brief. The long-term health of Clark is more significant than any one-person season, particularly when you take into account how much younger she still is, hopefully. She has basketball ahead of her. Additionally, it's important to note that this damage isn't something that just occurred at random. Fascia plantar usually grows over time as a result of excessive foot strain and usage. Considering Clark's utterly crazy schedule been keeping up with media and gaming commitments, marketing activities, journeys, not surprisingly, her physique is beginning to fall apart. The female has been continuously attending since college career took the world by storm. She went directly from March Madness panic into the WNBA draft, subsequent to right into her first season with all that comes with the strain and attention. Along with it, she has hardly had any time for breathe, not to mention adequately recuperate and preserve her bodily well-being. This is likely a helpful reminder that even superhuman athletes are people. Clark may appear unbeatable on the court, but she's facing the identical physical restrictions like everyone else. The fact that she's doing it makes a difference. Beneath a microscope that contains millions of people are observing and evaluating her at every move. The conversation with Rapinoe and Bird was energizing since it displayed Clark in a more laid-back, organic environment. The media wasn't hostile to her. Inquiries, protecting her comrades, or clarifying contentious calls. She was simply sharing and discussing basketball humorous tales featuring two legends who, obviously, you respect her game. It's the type of material that truly facilitates a genuine connection between athletes and fans, beings that are not only athletic entertainers. Observing Clark make fun of her own memes, elucidate her discussions with Taylor Swift, and make light-hearted remarks with she is more relatable because of Bird and Rapinoe, and likable. It also illustrates something significant regarding Clark's character. She isn't taking herself overly gravely, in spite of all the attention as well as pressure. She has the ability to laugh in circumstances that could cause stress other individuals. That type of mental resilience is most likely a component of what's made her so prosperous. The moment of additionally, this interview was flawless. Arriving over All-Star Weekend, when the emphasis is intended to commemorate the sport instead of coping with conflict and disputes. Everyone was reminded of why Clark turned into something like that in the first place. She truly provides amusement and participating on and off the court. In the future, Clark's injury status is undoubtedly the most important plot point to adhere to. What's the duration of her absence? How is it going to impact her long-term growth? Can without them, the Fever maintain their competitiveness? Superstar. In the meanwhile, the Liberty keep constructing what appears to be an unbeatable roster. Mism signing may have simply put a stop to the competition. Equilibrium in the league prior to the season truly begins. Other groups will need to use their imagination if they wish to subvert New York's hegemony. However, that presents a challenge for upcoming seasons. At the moment, the emphasis should be on make sure Clark stays healthy, wholesome, The league needs her at her best, not battling with injuries that might result in long-term effects. The interview gave us insight into the she became famous because to Clark in the first location, funny, competitive, self-aware, and wholly genuine. We're hoping to see a lot more of that version after she returns to the court with all of its might. Clark's integrity, everything we discussed in this interview, have to see. From Taylor Swift teaching her to roast her own football memes, demonstrating why she's more than simply a fantastic player, but actually amusing. Share your most treasured Clark moment in the remarks. Hit the like button if you desire additional WNBA content. Sign up for the most recent information on everything.